to reach out to her, give your helping hands.
Mhm.
0881 120 822,
Mhm. Mhm.
0881
Mhm.
120 822. Yes, you can still do. Like our friend and brother John Flomo, thank you so much.
Mhm.
The veteran Liberian comedian John Flomo made
Mhm.
a contribution of at least 20 USD. I think
Yeah.
we want to
Thank you.
appreciate you, John. That is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
We want to appreciate you for that.
There are so many others in the hospitals. Yes. Who going through similar thing. And let God be your walking stick this morning. Thank you so much. We have the cultural ambassador, Balawala. I thought I would be saying former cultural ambassador. On
Because the people say
the
the people say you come and resign.
yeah, I say you come and resign. Malawala, I thought I would be saying the former cultural ambassador.
Well, thank you. Good morning, O'Neill and Michael. I want to say thank you for the invite. I'm very happy to be here this morning. But you are trying to uh, you're making an appeal to the public for this lady. I just want to make a contribution of 5,000 Liberian dollar
Okay,
to raise money for this lady.
thank you.
It's so pathetic, you know. I'm going to present it now
Okay.
to you for
No,
the
give it
lady.
to her. No, no, no
Where?
second part, but transparency. People have been asking, can I say? And I said no.
Okay.
That's about her, right?
Yeah.
Instead of this
Yeah.
book
Yeah.
passing hallway,
Yeah. Yeah.
look at it, you're looking at her.
Okay. Okay. I will give it to her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. I don't know how well we're getting him. Mind, you gotta look at the Mac there. How are you doing? How are you doing? Just 24 hours after librarians have said Malawala Balawala is going to say goodbye. That's culture ambassador.
No, it's untrue. Uh, it's untrue. It's false. Like I said in my press statement, um, the guys who are doing it, detractors, have they don't even know me because they are now associating me with diamond mining. You know, when I leave the cultural ambassador job, I'm going to do diamond mining in Cape Town. I've never been in recent time in Cape Town. I've been there on a cultural mission over the years. Uh, not diamond, you know. But I want to say thank thank you for the opportunity. I want to let the public know that I have
Is everything
accepted.
okay since you become the culture ambassador? Is everything okay?
Everything is okay.
I saw the
Look,
Facebook right now. Is everything okay as culture ambassador?
everything is okay. Let me tell you the truth. Because the president of Liberia has explicit confidence in our work. Just last Tuesday, I met him at the ministerial complex just 1 week at the WIAC program. And he walked straight to me and said, Look, Mr. Kamal, we need to meet. We need to meet to discuss about culture. Because since we came from Lofa, we spent the whole Christmas week in Lofa. Foya from there went to Vojama for the 60th anniversary program that brought Nimba, Bon, Grand Guide, and Lofa together for that celebration. I was part of it. I was invited by the president. The Ministry of Internal Affairs, the Ministry of Information, we've been working together harmoniously. Now, this whole thing is planning that what we are concerned about because we want to leave a legacy. Look, as I speak to you right now, we have a committee that has been working. One committee to introduce arts and culture teaching in our curriculum. They're working with the Ministry of Education. Now, another committee we have set up to see to it that we come up with a cultural policy that will guide our activities, that will guide the cultural sector in this country. Now, that policy document will be adopted by the executive, of course, the legislature will come in to enact as a law. Now, we are working. We are working and we're enjoying the work. As I speak to you right now, look, we've gone as far as we're just waiting for the budget to be, every time they say uh, budget shortfall and the other thing, the thing is like you have to wait. You have to wait. This is a new office altogether. Now, when it is created, you have to wait. You have to be patient. But at the same time, you got to work. I said it before here. The first time I had an interview with you here at the station, I said, look, government only provide the much needed, uh, say, environment, the needed uh, policies that can guide and see to it that we can come up with, positive results. Now, the private sector is the one that can finance the arts and culture. We believe in that, and we still holding on that.
Let's take a look at culture ambassador. Let's hear you. I mean, like, everyone listening up to the culture ambassador. I mean, let's forget about what is on the social media. Since taking over, what are some of the progress, some of the challenges you care to talk about?
Okay, let's talk about first maybe some of the progress that we have made so far. One of the things that we needed to reorganize most of these collective societies, as we used to call it, the unions, all of them coming together is collective society those days. But now we were able to come up with a nomenclature, uh, creative societies. Now you have the Union of Liberian Artists, you got the law, that is the Liberia Association of Writers. You got the movie union, you got the musicians union, you got the culture union, you got the photographers, you got the chef, you got the designers and tailors. All of these guys form what we call the creative societies in Liberia. We put them together. We had several meetings. They have come up with what they intend to do for the next 6 years. They have come up with some commitment or some proposal, okay, as to how they intend for the arts and cultural department or the ambassador to work with them. They have got their own policies that govern them. So we are working directly with these guys. In addition to that, we were able to come up with 6 year development plan for the culture sector. Now, mine, we have to have these policies approved by the president. And of course, we also had the opportunity to, for the first time in the history of Liberia, to organize a mini, a Western region cultural festival. Now, um, just to make you to know what prompted that, we try to divide the Liberian, the counties into zones. We're trying to put them into zones, and we got the Western region, that is Bomi, Kipma, and Bapulu. We had a cultural festival in Besau. Besau is a cultural center, the second national cultural center of Liberia. Those days, in its 80s, 70s, this culture center was on a government payroll like the National Culture Center. Okay, they work directly and with the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs, and Tourism, the artists. And this village was one of the touristic centers in Liberia. Now, we try to revive to see how we can reorganize the troop that is in Bissau, and we've been successful. That program was held from the 30th, the 31st, the 1st, and the 2nd of February. Now, we use the occasion to celebrate one of Liberia's icon, folk singer, Mark Lubondo Kale, who passed sometime around the 29th of November. So we're celebrating her 40th feast as part of the Islamic celebration, because she's a Muslim. She comes from a Muslim background. She was. And so we were able to celebrate. I mean, you have been there to see for yourself the gathering. And we use the occasion to also tell the people about the government, because that's one of our main objective, one of the main objectives, to promote the government, of course,
Okay, great.
through
So
arts and culture.
arts and culture. I mean, I'm yet thinking about you cutting across in bombing in the Basel time in bombing county. Are there some historical cultural sites you plan to visit across the country?
Oh, yes, 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 yes. And, the present generation doesn't know about maybe the famous, or some of those guys, they call them the heroes of those days. Those guys that made our culture to shine. You're talking about Madame Yatazo, another folk singer. She's still living. She lives in Bomi. We're able to find her.
Hmm.
We're able to talk to her, to make her to feel that she did contribute. She contributed to the development of our folk songs. She promoted our folk song. She made Nimba Bird, Patu Gavlon. She was at Kendija. I can tell you now that Madame Yatazo is still living. During the festival, we were able to find her. We took her to the Besau village, and we were able to honor her. Now, mind the festival that we have initiated is going to be celebrated every first Saturday in February each year. It's going to be an annual event, and that will encourage tourists who will be aware of this event to come and witness the richness of our culture, the diversity of our culture.
Mhm.
Now, these are some of the things that we are doing at the background, slowly but surely.
But all these things back boils down to the budgetary aspect. Yeah, you need money to make all of them the major move, right?
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you that we have not been giving the maximum, maybe the monetary, okay, in our national budget.
This physical
But
budget,
this
this current budget will capture all of it.
we have submitted the budget already. Okay, I can assure you that indeed, if not all, we will get part of
Money
it.
makes a bigger days. Are you a cultural man? Actually, most of the big I will see is it yeah that money makes a bigger the days. Is it laughable? The big out or the devil laugh about that money make the devil dance?
I agree with you, but you gotta show your skill of dancing. Then before people start coming in to contribute or to give you the money that you perhaps
So you won't
need.
grab something to make So let's
You
get
got
to
to
the
start dancing
dancing, start doing
first,
something first, right?
showing your skills,
Uh-huh.
showing the way, and of course, the people will appreciate you.
Is it difficult being an ambassador, a cultural ambassador? Because this was one position was highly political in sense that people went to you on the social media back and forth. Now you're a cultural ambassador. Is it difficult being
No,
all of the noise hearing? Is it difficult being an ambassador?
for me, it's not difficult. It's just like it's part of me. It's been part of my livelihood. I mean, I sleep, I wake up, I walk in the street thinking about culture. And this has been my passion over the years. Look, since 19 in the 70s, I started when I was going to junior high school in Totota. I went to to Banga every weekend to practice with a Bonkante cultural troupe
Mhm.
under Peter Bala, the late Peter Bala Flumo.
Mhm.
And so I came back to Monrovia. I joined the William V. Estoma cultural troupe. I was in the 10th grade. By a year after, I was part of the troupe that went to America in 1974.
Okay.
From there, we organized a private cultural group called the Liberian Jungle Dancers. From Jungle Dancers, the president of Liberia, who had passion for culture, who loved, who recruited cultural artists for the National Troupe of Liberia, made sure that the troupe from Top Mahal traveled to America in 1974. In 1978, we also, from the Liberian cultural ambassador, we traveled to the United States. So I'm telling you that everything I have been doing throughout my life has been the media and the cultural sector. This is the only place I've worked in, either to promote artists or to produce program aims at uh, promoting Liberian culture.
Are you,
That's
are, you,
that's it.
are you satisfied with the job?
I am
Are you satisfied with the
I
job?
am greatly
Are
honored
you okay in
and
the office when you turn left, turn
satisfied.
right? You not stressed up in the office. Are you okay?
I
Is bala wala okay? It's satisfying the job.
I am okay. I don't know where that other news came from. I mean, the detractors, they're trying to bring politics into this whole thing here. Let me be very frank. And me, I'm not politician. I'm not a politician. I am a cultural activist and advocate for culture.
Been
I
able,
am,
have you been able to reach out to your predecessor? Or maybe your predecessor have reached out to you.
yeah,
Yep.
I met her at one or two different programs. They were the media, let me say this, the media was honoring her. They invited me. I was at that program. Um, I remember very well when I was giving the floor to speak, I extended olive branch to Madame Julie. My offices are open for you. You can join us. Want to tap on your experience. And of course, since then, I've not seen her. And let me tell you, after my speech at that program, everyone, including the representative of District 17, DJ Blue, who was at the program, everyone stood up and they walked to me, including the entire audience, including Ambassador Judy. They hugged me for that statement.
Okay.
That is as far as I am concerned. But since then, I've not seen her, coming close,
Okay. She will.
relating to me some of those things.
Yeah, you need to get a budget. So what do you operate for? Where is your office? What's the
My
address?
office, we got an office on Kerry Street, Kerry and Warren Street, nearby the Ministry of Transport. There were we are rare where the central bank used to have the annex. We got our office now, and there we are operating from. Sometimes we got the music union, the cultural union. Everybody will meet there for discussions. Every time we have guests, this is our offices. We
Official
use
office.
for
Not
now.
not at the information ministry.
No, we are now at information ministry. Um, the we have this to say that we are working with information ministry, but we're using that office as arts and culture
Do you foresee in the
purpose.
long run, I don't know what's your take on this one, that the culture and tourism could move on of the Ministry of Information, like in other countries, you just have the information ministry, but yeah, we have information ministry, culture and tourism, that the culture and tourism can operate on its own.
I think recently it was announced by the Senate, that they had approved the bill and made the National Tourism Authority that will be effective. In fact, both houses, representative and Senate, have approved. They have passed this bill. I think it's only waiting for the president's, signature to make it functional. But already the Ministry of Information knows that there is a separation of, you know, tourism and culture from information. And this has taken place. This is so far what we know, that indeed at the end of the day, this sector is going to grow. And that's what we've been waiting for. We're really happy that the government, President Boakai, has deemed it necessary to separate culture and tourism from information. Now, it's going to be less political, even though we have the country to promote. Our aims and objective will have to be to redefine, to come up with a policy that will govern the arts and culture sector, thereby promoting tourism in this country. So we are indeed happy for this and want to tell the legislators thank you for the bold step. Want to tell the president thank you for making sure that this is done. We're just waiting to see that this a final a final signature that will make it a law, be put in by the president. So want to thank all those that made it possible. The tourism ambassador, all of these guys who have been very, very functional, hardworking to make sure that this bill is passed and we come up with, a national tourism authority. That's why we are working now. There is this proposal that we've made that is before the president. We've rated him, and we think that at the end of the day, we'll be giving audience a few days to make sure that we explain better to the president what our vision is for this. We have Ministry of Information, the Department of Culture and Tourism and the Arts and Culture Ambassador Office with stakeholders, from the Ministry of Internal Affairs, Ministry of Education. All of these people are going to come up with some draft before we go to the counties. We're talking about going to the 15 counties to make sure that we get this particular idea or policy together,
Okay.
drafted. I'm waiting for a conference to validate the entire process.
Great. So he's Liberia culture ambassador. Well, Malawala Balawala Kekula. Which name you prefer me calling you? Which name you prefer me calling you?
I got so many names, my man. But I think
Well, you go all the way in the interior there. How do they call you?
Malawola.
Voila.
Yeah.
Go to Boma, how do they call you?
They call me Big Brother in the culture sector. You know,
Recently, they say Malawala.
yeah.
What is
I
that?
got
Malawala.
Malawola, Belawola. It's a Mandingo from the Mandingo language. And the president called me something inside.
Something inside. Okay, beginning today, that's how I'll be calling you now.
Something
I'm
inside.
going to change and save your name. I'll call you something inside. They will call the Yeri name. Great. Let's get phone lines
Something.
activated. 0770-153-265 is Liberia Culture Ambassador. Recently was circulated on social media that he was going to quit the job. It's far from reality. His life with us on this the first segment of the Truth Breakfast Show. You can call and make your input 0770-153-265. Let's get our first call coming through right here on the TBS this morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much. I'm Bobby Allison. Good morning to Ambassador.
Good
I
morning.
know you the man from River G, what he thought we want to melt into Bombay County business.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And I got my mother-in-law live in Besau. My son is there. Ambassador, I listened to you talk. You spoke about Besau, that historical town. And I want the people are listening to you there in the South town this morning. They just sent a text message because to call it is difficult. The guy probably would not work. So they asked me to appeal to you, Ambassador, to please do the best before you get prepared for that festival in February. The issue of a communication, because through the music, the drum that you beat is communication, the dances are communication. You're communicating with people.
Yeah.
There's a serious issue with network in the South town. You want to please prevail the best that you can on the lawmakers. Even use your offices since the South is a historical place. Let's have communication.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Bobby Bleeding Addison. Thank you so much. Let's get another call coming through this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Let me say good morning to our uncle, father, Mr. Malawala.
Moses.
Moses to our son, I'm calling from Tuporo. I listened to him, and I want to say I think he sounds reconciliatory. He sounds easy to work with when it comes to a predecessor when you asking the question. But we were in upper elementary. We were taught two major society in our culture, which is poor and sending. And there were good aspects of it. In the poor, we were told that men learn how to take care of their family, settle conflict and leadership. We were exhibited the women to how to play basket and other things. But today, they work, NGO people say, oh, the sending is not good. I don't know why he stands on that.
Okay.
And I don't know what encouragement can he get about poor us, because people are saying that children will not go to poor society. And these are our cultural heritage areas.
Okay. Cultural heritage. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Oliver. Good morning to the cultural ambassador.
Morning. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate you so much. That's how you being. I was thinking about you first to come out and debunk it, so that you can go one to borrow that and be crazy about that. So let me appreciate you so much. I want to thank you so much for that lady who was in the place here, and her story was so sad. God will reward you for everything you do. Thank you, Unirao.
Amen. God bless. Thank you. Alvin Cook. Yes. Alvin morning.
Good morning, O'Neill. And let me say good morning to your studio guest. This is Alvin from Wiga Community.
Oh, so you greeting Maka, eh?
Yeah. O'Neill, when we were smoking well, we had a drum sound by 6:37 around the street.
No, he's playing a drum sound, not a drum sound there. Banamba.
I want to ask the ambassador, do you have anything of TV to see the cultural heritage, to see the cultural performance. At least for the weekend, if they group to the children to the TV, that they will not have anywhere to go, and they will track them, will bring education to them. If the ambassador has any idea of bringing to the program back from EFBC, said EFBC now is taking up almost the entire
LNTV. All right. Great. Thank you. Let's pick up Corey's Kanga. Corey's morning.
Good morning, Mr. Robert. How are you doing this morning?
Go ahead.
I just want to ask Ambassador one question. This statement was made in Grand Bassa County when the Internal Affairs Minister went there to conduct the endorsement ceremony of the new superintendent. And he said clearly he warned traditional leaders that children below 18, he don't want to see them dancing in programs any longer. He see that as child labor, and because when those children are dancing, they tend to solicit money from people who are there. So it's felt that's going to want people to desist that anybody will be caught in an act to encourage a person below that age will be taken on a serious issue and have serious issue to do with the ministry. So I just want to ask the culture ambassador, what is the thought on that issue raised by the Internal Affairs Minister as culture ambassador, because he will have the leverage to go in most of the countries to organize programs where we see the kids coming out of the day,
Okay.
Promote their culture.
Okay, thank you. Just hang up. Let's take the final caller here. Good morning.
And good morning to Balawala. Thank you for taking my call. Two things. I want to know if you participate in the discouragement of the Color Society or the Santa Cruz taking kids from school and taking them there for whatever purpose to go there. The other thing is, what part do your entity play in the drug-infested community whereby our kids are getting lost? I think the culture ambassador should be a major part of that. I'm not quite sure, but I think so. Thank you for taking my call.
Okay, thank you. So let's go back to our guest. You listen to the caller, Ambassador?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, let's hear you out.
Okay, let's start first with Bissau, the Bissau Cultural Center. The caller talk about communication. Of course, it's a big challenge in. It's a big challenge. It's a big challenge in. Okay, it's a big challenge in Bissau. And when we were there during the festival, myself, it was difficult for us to communicate to town and other. I think we started already approaching the telecommunication service, but I can assure you that we already started talking to the GSM companies to see to it that that's before next festival, which will be in February, will have this particular situation resolved. We want to make sure that they have access to telecommunication. In fact, we thank God that one of our sponsors I want to talk about is the Liberia Telecommunications Authority. So we're going to appeal to them to make sure that we get, GSM companies at that particular, center. Make sure that. Now, the next one is that our people, the Balawala program, we want to make sure that indeed at the end of, before the end of this day, in fact, this year, we're going to reintroduce the Malawala Balawala production. We call it the Reloaded. That's how we call it. Malawala Balawala Reloaded. We got so many prominent artists that want to be part of that production. It's going to reflect Liberia's true identity like it was before. even though it will be modernized, but I think we can do it better. We want the Minister of Internal Affairs talk about children dancing, and that is true. Under 18, you have to properly guide them. Of course, if you want our culture to be preserved, you got to train the children. We're trying to even introduce it at the school level, but it shouldn't be like commercializing this, but our dances. Although, the children got to be taught that when you are dancing, you are showing talent, and that talent can be appreciated, but not for money.
Yes, not for money. Yes, Ambassador, because of time, the other guests are here, so just in a minute, you can wrap up.
Yeah. I want to talk about the drug issue. We are concerned. Anything that is for our kids to really get a better direction, positive direction, we are going to be involved not only in the promotion of our arts and culture, but the human capacity must also be promoted, and the positive image of Liberia. So when we have a drug-free country, you can have a better society, a society that every one of us will enjoy. I just want to say thank you to our people, those who called, those who didn't call. I want to thank you for your listening. And I also want to say thank you because this is, I seen on social media people talking about, let's try to promote Liberia's positive image. Let our people know that Liberia is a civilized country, a decent country. I think with that, in unity, we can prosper.
Okay. Yes, in unity we can prosper. Thank you so much for coming, Ambassador.
Thank you so much, Makadi.
Well, he's Kakura Kamara, commonly known as Malawala Balawala, the Arts and Culture Ambassador of Liberia there. We're taking a short break. We'll bring the folks from the Ministry of Education this morning. This break, and we'll be right back.
I'm living life to the max.
But well, you living life in a kind of economy, you joking, eh?
My dear, I'm living life to the max with Orange. No joking Benny inside.
You boy, what you mean by max? Please break it down for me.
So you not hear about Max yet? The all-in-one new app from Orange Liberia?
I saw something like that, though. But what is so special about this new app?
My dear, with the Maxit all-in-one new app, you can manage everything from Orange Liberia in one place. Data and voice zone, checking your balance zone, tracking your data and cost usage, access all Orange Money and Orange Energy services, watch football games, listen to music, play games, and so much more. But the best part of the app is that once you download the app, it's free. No data business if you use the app.
Wow, this is so interesting.
Tired of juggling different apps to stay connected? Wish there was one app for everything Orange Liberia? Well, wish no more. Say hello to Maxit, Orange all-in-one app that helps you live to the max. Access data and voice offers. Enjoy high-speed internet services. Monitor your balance and usage. Track SMS, calls, and data easily. Stay connected with Orange Money and Orange Energy's services and products. Get entertainment, games, music, and more. Purchase tickets to the hottest events. And shop with ease from online vendors and consumable products. The best part? It's 0 rated. No data charges to use the app. Download the app now on Google Play Store or App Store. Just search Maxit LR. Live smarter, live better, live life to the max with Orange Maxit. For more information, call 111 or find us on Facebook at Orange Liberia.
Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia are our prime sponsor of the TBS here on Truth 96.1 FM, the heart and soul of Liberia, and this is where national unity begins. So, as we try to join the team from the Ministry of Education, let's bring you this jingle from the ministry.
I wanna go to school, see myself back in the classroom. I wanna go to school, I just wanna see myself back in the classroom. Because my classroom, my future, my classroom. That's all, that's a learning, I'm never alone. I wanna go to school, I won't be sleeping in a graveyard, no. I wanna go to school, I won't be standing on the street no more. Because my classroom, my future, my classroom, my home. So long as I'm learning, I'm never alone. What's up, what's up? This is your boy So Smarter. Join us, let's go back to the classroom.
Oh yes, what a great initiative! The Ministry of Education back to my classroom, but we have the folks here this morning. The team is headed by Honorable Abba Kanga, the Assistant Minister for Primary and Secondary Education, the Director of Communications at the Ministry of Education, Reverend Mr. Maxime Bleton. They're here this morning to talk about this great initiative back to my classroom. But let's as soon as we get them on camera, we will just go straightly to them this morning on the show. Yes, we have them now. So let's join the team this morning and say a pleasant good morning. Great to have the both of you here this morning.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's good to be on your platform, and we're happy to go around the nation talking about our great initiatives at the Ministry of Education.
Okay.
Thank you, Micah. We are very pleased to be here this morning. You still owe one jingle. We hope you play before we start officially. So you have to do due diligence.
Hey, communication people in okay. No problem. How is the ministry?
Ministry is doing well. We are very wonderful, honor our very astute leadership with visionary team workers, professional ministers that are coordinating, collaborating, and working professionally.
Okay. Kanga?
Yeah, the ministry is, of course, there's the Ministry of Education. We are doing well. We are building a team that can win. I think you and I and the public know the challenges we have in education in this country. It's a long shot to where we need to reach to say that we have achieved, but the ministry team is committed to the challenges, and I think we're doing well.
Okay. Yeah, so our purpose this morning is the Back to My Classroom program. Can we get a background of this program?
Yeah, thank you so much. So Back to My Classroom is a national enrollment drive. And I always like to mention that the minister proper always likes to call it an enrollment movement instead of a drive, because this is a movement that requires all hands on deck. Back to My Classroom, like I said, is an enrollment drive intended to bring students back to school, or to make sure that students of school age are enrolled in school. This campaign, we decided to do this campaign based on the statistics of out of school children that we have in this country. Liberia has 22% of our school age children out of school, which means they are not enrolled, they've never been enrolled, or either enrolled and dropped. So there's 22% of our school age children, which means children between the ages of 3 to 18. 22% of them are not in school. Wow. There's a lot of reasons for that. So there's a need for the ministry to do something about this, because having 22% of your children out of school, that is staggering. That is an emergency. So we want to term it as an emergency, and we have developed this campaign this holistic campaign that covers all grounds, that includes everyone, all stakeholders, you know, down to the grassroots, a campaign that will ensure that within in the calculated time, we can be able to get our children back to school.
Yeah, so let's look at I know the one of the key objectives will be to ensure that these children get back in the classroom. But what are other key objectives of the Back to My Classroom program, and how does it align with the ministry's broader educational goals?
Yeah, thank you so much, and that's a great question. So there are key elements, but I just wanted to say that back last year, August, this campaign was launched by the president of the Republic of Liberia, which means the president himself have endorsed this. This is how serious the ministry is taking it. But this campaign has, as to your question, we have 5 components that we want to be able to reach our people through these 5 different components to ensure that everyone is on board, that we're able to bring students back to school. So we want to be able to collaborate. We want to be able to advocate. We want to be able to engage. We want to do what we call evidence generation, because yeah, we know that 22% of our students are out of school, but we don't know where they are. We don't know who they are. We don't know the reasons that they're out of school. So we want to generate evidence. We want to know why children are out of school in specific regions. We want to know what's happening. So evidence generation is one of the components. And then the last component is visibility and communication, which means there's going to be a lot of communication, which is one of what we're doing today on the radio. There's going to be a lot of jingles that are played. There are going to be billboards. But the engagement and the advocacy component, we believe, are the strong ones, because that's the one that reaches to the community. And we're going to reach out to all the structures in these communities, because there are structures that keep students out of school. There are cultures, there are traditions that keep students out of school. There are beliefs. There's a lot of things. So these engagements and advocacy components of the movement is what we're depending on to make sure we're able to talk to our people, and we're all on the same kind of a pitch to run this program.
Okay. Yeah, so let's look at how has the ministry ensured that all the successful implementation of this program. I understand it was launched sometime last year, if I'm not mistaken, across all schools, particularly in the rural and underserved areas.
Yeah, let me just give you a little context on what have been happening. So this is a 3 years program. This Back to My Classroom movement is a 3 years program. So year 1 ends in July. So year 1 was actually intended to set up all the different structures that are needed in the counties, in the district, at the national level, to ensure that we have everything in place to make sure this movement works. So in year 1, we targeted 7 counties. So out of the 15 counties, is done in phases. So year 1 was 7 counties, and that was the 7 counties with the highest rate of out-of-school children. So these counties include River G County, River Cess, Sano, Grand Bassa, Wapolu, Bomi, and Grand Jida County. So those are the first 7 counties that were targeted. We were able to set up working committees at the level of the counties. We were able to set up working committees at the level of the districts. So every district in those counties have working committees. And those committees were duplicated from the National Steering Committee, which sits at central office and is made out of not just ministry staff, but of our development partners as well. We have the World Bank on board. We have UNICEF on board of this. We have Save the Children on board. We have Hope. We have You Movement and other partners who are working with this. So that group of partners with the ministry team, and we also have some supporting ministries like the Gender Ministry and the Health Ministry, and then the Justice Ministry through the Liberian National Police, who are on that committee. That committee is intended to steer the affairs of this campaign. Now, that committee has been duplicated to the county level. So the same way we have a steering committee at the national level, there's a steering committee, a working committee at the county level, and then that is also duplicated to the district level, which will include parents and include the traditional leaders at the level of the district, and all those influential people. So that is how the campaign is set up. So year one has been mainly set up and then trying to raise funds, because the ministry, I mean, it's an open secret that we are not as capacitated as we should be to be able to handle these programs on our own. So we're reaching out to partners who are sponsoring this. So UNICEF have been our core sponsor so far, but now we have World Bank on board, who is significantly going to contribute to this as well.
That is good. So you said one of the components was identifying those children who are out of school according to the percentage that you mentioned. So the 7 counties you mentioned, what can you say when it comes to identifying some of these children?
Yeah, evidence generation is currently going on, and that is being done by our IMIS department. They do the monitoring, they do the M&E portion and data portion of it. So the objective is not just to know that students are out of school, but we want to know where they are.
Okay.
If we say, for example, let's say Bombay County, I know not every part of Bombay will have those high rates, right? But where are the kids? Who are they? Who are their parents? So that is going on currently. Our year one report should be able to identify, should be able to answer some of those questions. But we know that as we go forward, we will generate more evidence that we can add to our reports.
Okay. And the next question is, you mentioned it is a 3-year campaign. What are plans for sustainability, just in case the 3 years is over, you can see the children going back out of school?
Great, very, very, very good question. So listen, to sustain this means that we're asking students to come to school, but what are they coming to? So for example, if all the students in Liberia, all the school-age children in Liberia come to school, do we have enough space? Do we have enough buildings to have them? Do we have the qualified teachers who would teach them? So these are some of the things. Are the environments safe enough that when they come, they will remain? What are some of the things that when students come to school that makes them to drop? So the ministry is considering all of these questions, so that if I'm saying come back to school, you should be able to come back to where you have a classroom. You're not going to come and then there's no space, there's no chair for you. Of course, you eventually drop and go back to where you were doing. But if I say come back to school and then you come, the space is there, the classroom is there, but there's no teacher. Nobody is coming in the classroom. We see that a lot in most of our public schools. There's no teacher. Of course, the child is going to drop again. So to sustain this program, the ministry is going to ensure that part of the campaign is to be able to develop all the spaces needed. If there's renovations that have to go on, the ministry is committed to that. If we need to construct new structures, we are working with our partners. We need to do that. Also with the teachers, part of one of the major work that we've been doing at the ministry is to ensure we know who our teachers are, we know where they're assigned, and we know that they're in the classroom. So there's a lot of things going on right now from our division of instruction, our department of instruction and administration working together to be able to track our teachers, to be able to get all the abandoned teachers off our payroll, to bring in those who are actually working. But not just that, but to be able to have a system where we can have real-time monitoring, where I can sit in my office and look at a dashboard and look in, let's say, Nema County. I went on the schools there and know who have come to school today, and know what is being taught in the school. So those are our, long-term
and that is ambitious.
ways of being able to sustain. Yeah, it's highly ambitious, but this is what we have to do. And this is why we want everybody on board, because, normally in this country, everybody says, oh, education, and we got this one term that we don't like to use anymore at the ministry, is the education is a mess thing. Everybody is a song in people's mouth. But we forget to know that to be able to improve education in this country, we all have to be a part of it. Because if I construct all the best schools here, if the parents don't understand the importance of school to send their children to school, that school is going to be there very empty and nobody's going to go there. I've been to regions where the best schools are constructed. They only got 40 students. They only got 20 students, whereas the community has more than 4,000 or 5,000 children in that community. So it's a coordinated work. We all have to put our hands on deck to ensure we improve this. And this time around, we're not going to act like only the ministry can do it. We're going to reach out to all our stakeholders. We're going to reach out to everyone, including you in the media, to help us so that we can be able to move education forward in this country.
Okay. Mr. Bluntey, you want to add anything to that before I ask my next question?
Yeah, okay. We want to say thank you, Maka, and the True FM family for the golden opportunity afforded us this morning once again to appear on your platform. We have been a partner for a very long time, and we stay a partner. This Back to My Classroom, it is not only the government of Liberia program or initiative. It is an initiative for all. All of us have children in this country. We have a stake in Back to My Classroom. What do I mean by that? If the Ministry of Education and partners construct school in your area or in a village or town, you must be there to monitor security for us. Because if the school building is damaged or is no longer in your area, your children will not go to school. So what we can do is all of us to put hand on deck and make sure that schools are available in our areas that we live. And when the school buildings are constructed, they must be maintained, protected by, for example, if the ministry and partner build school in your community or in your village and town, and you allow people to go there and dance, conduct, political rally, and do all kinds of things, spoil the door, all the school building damage, tell me the next day how the children go to school. You, the parents, must also help government, because government is for the people, by the people, and of the people, and you are the people. This is why the arrangement is such a way that no one is left behind. We have the government people, they are part. All the stakeholders are part. The community people, they are part. The fathers, the mother, they are part. The children themselves, they are part. So that we all make this thing work. Because when we all, respect and receive education as joy, tomorrow our children will be out there to give a befitting burial, and they will take the mantle of authority and steer the affairs of the state. So we want all children to go back to school. And the only way they can go to school, you parent, you have a large portion of this. They from your better born. They are your husband. Make sure, encourage them. Stop taking them to the farm. When they are 3 years old, take them to the classroom. And you make sure, go to the TO when the teachers are not in the classroom. Go to the CEO when the teachers are not in the classroom. Our hotline, 1416. We've come to the basic and secondary division or bureau at the Ministry of Education. This will encourage, motivate, and inspire us that, yes, these people want their children to go back to school. When no teachers, let us know, so that we make teachers available. Now, let me tell you something about teachers. We got teachers and we get teachers among teachers. One, there are teachers that are verified but never available. When they come for verification, after the verification, they go to town, they put other people there, they call them volunteer teachers. They're not up to the task, we don't know them, and they will be complaining, and the children's school business will not be straightened. When you, the parents, find out, let us know. Because some of these teachers that are verified and placed on government payroll, they are left that assignment area, and they are here in Monrovia teaching to 3-4 schools. You be there, our eyeball, and let us know, because we're not everywhere at the same time. With that, we can make education one of the best in the Republic of Liberia.
Okay. Yeah, so this question is going to Minister Kanga. Sometimes, some pessimists or critics, when these kind of campaigns are launched, they will say, well, they're opening new opportunity for people to chop, in a local way. But tell us what mechanism or measures are put in place to ensure transparency and accountability in this Back to My Classroom draft.
Well, we I tried to tell you a little bit about the structures that we have. The way the campaign is structured, a lot of funding for this campaign go directly to the communities and the movement of what is going on in the community. And because we have a national steering committee, besides this national steering committee, we also have a national advisory board, which is made out of all the different permanent people you can think about. The president is a part of that advisory board. The Senate Pro Tem is a part of that board. We have a lot of legislatures. We have a lot of ministers on our board. A lot of respected people on our board who are advisor to the campaign. And then we have the National Steering Committee, that looks over the county committees, where the county committees are looking over the district committee. So it's a movement that have an eye on almost everything.
Okay.
So one of the things that we want to do is to ensure, like exactly what you said, is that wherever we want the funding to go, that it reaches there. And most of these things usually run as to what the resolve and the will of the leadership is. And I think at the level of the ministry, our will right now is to ensure that these projects work, is to ensure that students get back to school. So we're going to ensure that, and we're going to we're going to make sure that this works.
And Mark, to just add on to that, at the Ministry of Education right now, look, the objective and the will of the minister is zero tolerance on corruption. Anyone that is caught taking a dime that is not yours, you're not part of our management team. What we need, the students come first in our life. The student number one, our priorities. This is what we say, back to my classroom. Now, we personalize it so that you feel the impact. So anybody that will take a dime, you will not survive. We will nail you straight on the head. We want you to understand there's no more space for corruption in this education system. There's no more business as usual, and we're serious about this.
And just to that question, I just thought about another answer for that question.
Okay.
And most of what we are doing is not putting money forward.
Okay.
That's why part of our component is advocacy.
Yeah.
Most of what we are doing is advocating with the communities to get involved. We're not going to the community to divide money. We're not going to say, come to this meeting and we will give you money. Let's meet and talk about how your children will get back to school and you get money. That's not what it's about. It's a campaign that's trying to advocate to the minds and the souls and the logic, everything that make up the human body, mind, soul, that they get involved with this process. So it's not to say we're coming, not another NGO thing. This is a government thing, and it's a thing of advocating and coordinating with the communities to get you on board so that we all work together. So it's not money flying around thing. A lot of the funds that we're getting from this will go into things like this, radio stations, will go into the movement of traditional people who will be moving around in the communities to share this information. We know people who will go into the traditional bush and talk to people there. This is going to facilitate their movement. The town criers that will be in the community, the construction of these classrooms, the insurance that we have teachers. This is where the funds will go, and we can guarantee you that it's not going in anybody's pocket.
Okay, it's not going in anybody's pocket. That is good. How is the ministry incorporating feedback mechanism, if I may say, from teachers, students, the school administrators to improve the program?
Yeah, so I think you listen to Maxine. He announced the hotline number. We have a hotline number. That's just one. That's probably the top of our feedback mechanism.
And we have
but
a
then
WhatsApp number as well. Also,
yeah, also that. But the committees that we have at the level of the district is made up of parents, is made up of students, it's made up of people who we want the feedbacks from. So these committees are very large district committees where everyone is a part of it. It's more like a community committee. So information will definitely flow through those committees and trigger. So this is how feedback mechanisms are set up. Then again, with evidence generation, they're not just gathering evidence of these out of school children, but they're also gathering evidence on the progress of the program and the challenges that we're facing.
And more besides, the feedback is coming, with anxiety. We have received almost 15,000 students back to school, and that is commendable. I mean, Mark, this is something that you must put into your shoes. You're in a community and you see other people's children going to school and your children are going to school, and you're listening to radio and people saying, back to my classroom. And you allow your kids to sit home, not going to school. What is coming to your mind? You know that you're getting old every day. We're supposed to live for 70 years. What half are you in? I know, Margaret, you love football. Are you in your first half or in your second half? Or are you at the injury time? When will you send your kids to school? When you are crying? When you are walking with stick? When you can no more speak? When you get prostate cancer? when you can no more have any energy to enjoy anything? When will you send the kids to school? Why in the first place you bring kids to this world? You don't want to send them to school. That means you are evil. You don't even supposed to exist. There are two types of human beings in the world: people who exist and people who are living. So if you are listening to us, we want you to live. Send your kids to school. Send them back to the classroom. Let us know about the qualified teachers, teachers that are competent, teachers that are passionate, teachers that are willing and available. The availability of qualified teachers make our students very qualified and up to date. If the
Absolutely.
teachers are not available, please let the DEO know, let the CEO know, and they will consult us and will make available teachers there.
Absolutely, that's Martin Blitten for you. I love that. You may have mentioned this in passing, maybe somehow, but I want you to make some more emphasis. Are there specific success stories or measurable improvement in student enrollment, retention, or academic performance since the program was launched?
Yeah,
Yes,
we I probably won't want to let the cat out of the bag quickly, but I can tell you, at the end of July we will be making our 1 year report.
Yeah.
Okay.
And currently I can tell you, because year one target was 15,000. Let's get 15,000 students back to school from 7 counties.
Targeting students who were not in school at all.
Exactly. Targeting students who were not in school.
Okay.
So, and this was in 7 counties. Even though we are seeing that there are increment in other counties that are not part of this first 7 counties as well. But some of the success story that we can say is that we're confident that we were able to meet that 15,000 mark based on where the comparison of enrollment this year as compared to last year enrollment, and also those who enrolled. So there's a system set up where we are able to know who enrolled that was in school. If somebody has been in school and you enroll, we know that.
We know that.
If it's your first time coming, we know that. If you've been in school and you drop and you're returning, we know that. So our objective was to get 15,000 back to school, which means if you were in school, you drop, come back, or you have never been to school. Because one of the problems we got in this country is overage students are not in age appropriate grades.
Yeah.
So you realize that students are coming late. Some students come to school the first time at the age of 10, some 11, some 12, some even older. So you go to most of these schools, you see that students in these grades are not of the appropriate age. So when you come back, there are also accelerated learning programs that will help you to catch up to age appropriate grades. So if we're saying come back to school and we get a 12-year-old who should be in 6th grade or 5th grade by now, he comes, there's going to be an accelerated learning program that we run you through so that we can push you in from small, at least for you to be more closer to your appropriate grades.
Can you say anything about academic performance among those who you have helped enroll?
You know, one of the, and I think I mentioned it first, one of the challenges we're having at the ministry, and it's an open secret, it's not a secret, is the capacity to be able to monitor is one thing that we are working on. So in terms of academic performance, that's probably one record that we may not have had at this moment. But I think that's important. That's something that we need to find a way to see how we can gather information on performance. But I do know that in the coming years, we will be launching the World Bank Excel project, which is a very huge foundational learning project. And part of that project is to be able to track students' performances.
Okay, that will be good. So finally, because we will have to go to the line to speak with members,
before we go to the line,
members of the public. Yes, I know. Let me ask my last question. Then through that, you can just make your the point you want to make. What are the ministry's long-term plans for ensuring that a Back to My Classroom program continues to strengthen the country's educational sector and contribute to national development?
And that's an easy question, because Back to My Classroom is a 3 years program. And let me just tell you, in the AAID, which is the ARES agenda, the enrollment is part of the AAID, and the goal in the AAID is to get 40% of out of school children back to school within 6 years. So the president's team, the AAID, is saying, the government is saying, we know they have out of school children, but within our first term, we want 40% of them to come back to school. The Ministry of Education is saying, Mr. President, that's a good goal, but we want to be more ambitious. We want to say within 3 years, let's get all our out of school children back to school. And this is why we have designed this program. So when we're able to get all our out of school children back to school within 3 years, of course, there will be no more need for Back to My Classroom campaign. So what we would need to do now is to start initiatives that will help maintain students in school. Because one of the problem, out of school children is a problem, but one of the other problems we have is retaining students in school. So part of our statistics say that 56% of our students drop out of school after 6th grade. So right after 6th grade, 56% of Liberian students are dropping. That is another problem. I can't say come back to school, you go to school from kindergarten to 6th grade, and then you come and drop again. So then that's sustaining this campaign will mean making sure retention is very important and keeping and finding ways to help us keep our students in school after we have brought them back.
Okay.
Okay, so let me just add up to that. Micah, you guys are very professional, but what is so significant here is the sustainability matters. When you place this program in the hands of the stakeholders, it's already sustainable. For example, the superintendent, the parents, the PTA, the guardians, the teachers, and you name the rest. If you call stakeholder meetings and you have all the advocacy groups, they are available and know the importance of sending their children to school at age 3, and they are very passionate about that. Hey, Maka, it is already sustained. Nobody in this world, in their right mind, will have children and will not have them go to school, especially when classrooms are available, teachers are available, and they are conducive, and learning environment is very excellent. People will be rushing with their children to school because you know what? When you send your children to school, you stand to benefit. So why you will not send your children to school? So we want the public to understand this is a glorious and golden opportunity. This initiative must be embraced by PTA, must be embraced by the government officials, must be embraced by our friends, our NGOs, our media friends, so that all of us will make sure that no children on the street when classes are in section. This thing, we must stop it. Liberia too small that our children be educated. Because when they are not educated, you will leave them here and hire people from Nigeria, and hire people from Ghana, and hire people from Guinea, from America, and our children will be sitting down for what? For little things, peanuts. You know, when the crumbs drop before they eat. No, we must fight it now. We must wake up now. Send our children back to school. Let them go to school. Then tomorrow you will tell the story. If it is possible to palm your land, palm it. Let the children go to school. When they're going to school, give them the gari, give them the benefit. No, listen now. After the children finish graduating, they will buy you land. They will purchase land for you. They will send you to America. They will buy anything you want. Education is next to God. I'm telling you, when you're educated, you take people from poverty. There are two types of poverty. The one you were born in and the one you yourself created. Right now, if you send the children to sell cold water, to sell coal, to sell plastic bag, what kind of benefit will you get? After 4 or 5 years, what the children will be doing when their friends that are going to school, they are now minister and they stay cardboard and look cars on the street. Brabby. What benefit will you get from that? You'll only be frustrated, and sometimes when you're not careful, you die from heart attack.
Okay, send the children to school. So folks, you can call this morning to participate. My guests are Honorable Abba Kanga Jr., Assistant Minister for Basic and Secondary Education, and the Director of Communications, Honorable Martin Blyton, here from the Ministry of Education this morning. Let's take the first caller. The number is 0770-202579. Again, 0770-202579. Let's be specific about the Back to My Classroom program. That's what we've been discussing this morning. Please don't take us out of our topic or point of discussion this morning. Let's take the first caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Maga.
Morning.
My name is Moses Gade Above Harrisburg. Yeah, I said this still just thank you for the explanation. That it's funny the right way that 22% of our people are not in school. But the question is that what are the ministries doing to monitor the kind of system? Because for example, we are here having birthday treatment when there are some schools,
So now you notice that it's stuck in the school even by 10 o'clock, by 8 o'clock, by 9 o'clock, even including the students. So now when we're walking along the road, asking them, why is the bus? You tell the bus, so now when we go to school, the teacher can be there. Now the teacher can come on time. And you notice that whole school, we're getting about 5 instructors there. So it's embarrassing. And more frustrating, they move over rally again. I want to make it. The young people are ready to go all of school. In my community, there are 500 young men that are all around school because the ramblers, when I in a class of 10 or 7 and 8, it's when they say when they go to school, so now no teacher. The teacher, like when they get an assignment, they get on stage, when they see the teacher, just go and go for the resource or the library to go and get that research from. So
Okay, thank you. Let's stick to the 1 minute, please, per caller. 1 minute per caller. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, this caller, something happened. So 0770202579. Good morning.
Good morning, Michael Davis, and good morning to Honorable Arakanka.
Morning.
Junior and Mr. Picton. This is Terrence. I'm calling from Tuazon.
Okay.
I want to extend thanks and appreciation to the education aspect in studio. You know, it can be so sad in the morning that some of our friends, our youth, instructions are ongoing on various campuses and extending along the way, extending the community. You know, it really saddens my heart. So I want to say a very big thank you for this initiative. It's our prayer that Mr. Abakanda, who has worked with an institution and has getting accolades of being an educator, to fight along with his team to make this dream a reality, because education is part of the arrest agenda for this government. May God help them, and there will be result. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The next caller. Good morning.
Maka, a pleasant good morning, and let me say good morning to all of the guests in studio. I'm calling from District 4, and this is the voice of Akute. Maka, while it is true we understand the intent of the Ministry of Education to see how best we can help our Liberian children to that's wrong. But Maka, let me use this example. In the home, Maka, taking care of your own children properly, you cannot go outside there to bring outside of children to take care of them. What am I saying? Maka, in our schools nowadays, you and I, we are aware that there are a lot of challenges that the students we have in schools across Liberia are being faced with. Today, in this dispensation, Maka, our students are sitting on floor in the rural area to go to school, sometimes even around most of our county. So I care why, like I said, why they through the internet is good, but I care to know from the ministry this morning, what is the ministry doing to mitigate some of those challenges that students are faced with, even before going for those that are now in school? What is the ministry doing? Let them catalog some of those things that they are putting in place to mitigate these challenges before adding students to students that are already challenged.
Okay, thank you, Akoi Bue. Thanks for joining. Good morning.
Good morning, Brother Maka. This is Abraham Player, calling from Low Play in the country.
Okay, thanks for joining us.
Maka, you see, the issue is very important this morning. Why I'm discussing very important this morning. But I've been to the minister and they should supervise all those schools will be in Nima and even in Liberia, because most of the local areas, people are kind of supervise. And you see the children, they always out. So I think when the minister is sending people in a very local area in a to supervise, be better, but they should supervise in Mosorado.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for calling us way from District 6, Law Play in Nimba County there. Thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning, Maka.
Morning.
Good morning to your guests.
Good morning.
I'm calling from one country.
Okay.
I live in a studio guest. My friends so bad when they are playing the books on the radio. I'm from South Africa to the phone in Bonkare. My home is by the slumber.
What you felt bad about? I didn't get it. You said you felt bad about what?
Because honestly, I'm saying it's just on the radio. I'm speaking from Barisloma, South Africa, Barisloma, Bonkare.
Okay.
We have a student that don't have no chair, no the teacher will get the principal is not even a piece of the world. On the public school in South Africa. They can understand no kind of football change. I don't really follow like this for people. You want to put that every year. You also so that district, that person at the school, you feel very discouraged. No teacher.
Okay, Sota District. Thank you.
Sota.
Okay, the good things happening to certain areas. So yes, thank you so much for bringing it to their attention. I know they are appreciative that they are receiving
Super.
calls from far away from us right here. Okay, thank you. So let me take the last caller because of time. Good morning. Morning. Good morning. Go ahead.
I'm G.C. Logan, permanent resident of Mowen, Riverside County, but personally in town.
Okay.
I want to say thank you to the studio guest. I have serious points I just want to stress very quick because of time.
Mm-hmm.
In Mowen, where the public school, it was built by the town people. You call it Two River Public School. If all you can check is calendar, then you will get to know the school's name. And the principal is one Stanley Boyer who have been issued a retirement letter. But all in all, that school does not have any teacher. He the only one, and I was there. I was telling as one a volunteer. Yes. But the parents who they are, I don't know what that attitude was. They don't embrace education. So the part of school that you are spoken of, please let your agents on outside move in there and see what happens, and then you get to know that the court have made today, whether it is true or not.
Okay.
So thank you, sir.
Thank you. Let me squeeze in Milton Yoko. Milton, good morning.
Morning to the studio guests. This is Milton Yoko, incoming representative, District 6, Maserati County. And Maka, I'm impressed this morning. The only thing I have to say is that sometimes we bring plan in Liberia when we have not solved the existing problem. This is a very good plan for the ministry, but I think we are struggling with a lot of things in school that need to be solved before talking about putting people in school. The schools are limited, and even though they are limited, we don't have the teachers to really teach them. We don't have the material to take care of them. We don't have the resource material. We don't have the research material. So these are some of the things that are supposed to be handled. And finally, before I hang my phone up, I just want the ministry to just let us know what are some plans they are putting in place also for the young people who they are telling them to go to school to fight against drugs, or some strategy to fight against drugs in school among the young children. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That is also very important. Well, Chief, you listen to the callers.
Okay, I think the minister will close it out. Today, the Minister of Education will be at Migat by 11:45 today. We will tell you all the latest things that we've done at the Ministry of Education. We don't want to jump the gun, but we are here for back to the classroom, and we just want to tell all of you, thank you so much. Someone talk about late commons, motorbike riots, and other things like that. Let me tell you something. When you see students going to school, look, this education business is everybody business. It is not restricted to certain people, because if Liberians are educated, our country will be safe, our country will be developed, our country will be second to none in West Africa. All of the children going to school, when you see them out of classroom, you the parents, you the guardians, you the man or woman, take them back on the various campuses and let them know, or carry them to the DO. Remember that all districts in Liberia, we got our DO assigned in the various districts. And besides that, the various counties, we got our CEOs assigned in the various counties. Ministry of Education is one of the ministries among all ministries in this Republic of Liberia that is decentralized. And all of our workers all over this country. You can't say you're same people. We got people in Riverside. We got DO in Riverside. We got DO in River G. We got everybody working and they're making quarterly report at the Ministry of Education. We are not just talking, and we want to talk to the students. Student, motorbike riding is good, but it will not last forever. Do not mind 5-minute enjoyment and miss everlasting enjoyment. Go to school. Your parents are just escorting you. The war is ahead of you. You either take it or leave it. We are fighting for your future tomorrow. May God bless you, and may you take education as your cornerstone and your backbone. God bless you.
Thank you. Minister?
Thank you so much, Maxine. And let me say thank you to those who call. I just wanted to start with my brother in Zota District, Bon County. I just want to say, Chief, I feel your frustration. And I'm equally frustrated like you with what's going on in education in our country, with all the challenges we have. Students don't have chairs to sit on. Teachers are running away from the schools. The facilities are not enough. The materials at the school for teaching and learning is not there. That is something to frustrate anyone. And I agree with you. So I do share that frustration. I just want to let you know that this Back to My Classroom campaign has Bond County has not been included yet. Our first 7 county does not include Bond County. Maybe that's why you're only hearing us on the radio and you're not seeing any of these activities there. But all the challenges that you did mention, those are real challenges that the ministry is very committed to, and we will see how best we can get chairs for your students, how best we can get the teachers there, and for students to get good education. Thank you for calling. There are 2 more things I wanted to address here. Somebody talk about, well, 2 persons talk about the same thing. They said, let's solve the problems in the schools first before we want to bring students back to school. Again, yes, there's multiple problems. Our problems in our schools are not one. There's a lot of problems that we have to deal with. But I want to tell you, none of them compare to having students out of school. Yes, that you don't have chairs to sit down on is better than to say I'm not in school, right? That you go to school and you go for 3 classes and then the 4th class of teacher is not there is better than to say I'm not in school. We know that these issues are there, and we know that to have quality school in our quality education in our public schools, we have to solve these problems. But we want to get our students to school. At the same time, we're solving these problems. Some of these problems cannot be solved in a month. Some of these problems cannot be solved in a year. Some of the problems we have in education takes more than 10 years to solve. And some of them, as we're solving it, you won't see them because they are not tangible things that you can lay your eyes on. So as we're working together to solve these problems, let's also work together to bring our students to school. While they're there, then we can know more. It's almost like when you build in a house and you move in before it finished. When you move in, that's when you know what you need to do. Oh, there's a window not there. Let's put it there. Oh, their floor is not there. Oh, this side leaking. So let's bring our students to school, and then let's all work together to solve all these other problems. The last thing I wanted to talk to, somebody spoke about monitoring.
In a minute.
Yeah, quick minute. Somebody talk about monitoring and they talk about this no teacher thing. Every time he walk in his community and see his students coming home and they say no teacher. I like to call this the no teacher syndrome. This is something that I knew before even coming to the ministry. When I came to the ministry, I joked and said the public school, the average time they stay is 10:30. Because by 10:30, no teacher. We know there's no teacher syndrome. And it's not because the ministry doesn't have teachers. We know where it's coming from. It's coming from people who are abandoned. It's coming from people who have compromised a lot of things in the education sector. It's coming from people who agree to go to River G, but then they take their letter and they don't go. From people who agree to go somewhere in Lofa, but then they don't go. From EOs who refuse to monitor. From people at the level of ministers who refuse to do their work. So we know this, and we're working on this. So I just want to close by saying to the public, we need every hand on deck to be able to solve all these problems that we're talking about and that yourself mentioned on these calls. It's not just a ministry of education thing. Education is everybody's business. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. He's Assistant Minister for Basic and Secondary Education, Honorable Abba Kanga Jr., and the Director of Communication, Maxim Blitten. They've been our guest on the last segment of the show this morning. We'll be here tomorrow again with another edition of the Truth Breakfast Show. My name is Maka Davis. Oni Roberts has been here. So yes, tomorrow we'll be here again with another edition of the TBS. Do have yourself a wonderful time, and thanks for listening.